What's good, everybody? It's Sage. We back in this joint, and today we're gonna be discussing the Boys series finale. Now, I'm a little bit inebriated tonight. Got me a little bit of Jack Daniels. A little bit of Mike's Hard Lemonade. But I think that it's a very clear picture of what they were trying to do with this finale here. I feel like they were trying to not necessarily tone down what happened in the comics, but they really did alter a lot of it in a lot of serious ways. I made a couple of notes while watching the episode tonight that I wanted to discuss on. First being, and I'm gonna go in chronological order the best that I can, Frenchie's crazy ass funeral. Guys, now, whenever I tell y'all that I was going into this episode with no types of high hopes. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all, just being straightforward. I had no high hopes because I'd already heard what this dude and the latest dude done said about, what season 5 has been building up like. I've had my own opinions about how season 5 has been building up and how you know, 50 minutes to an hour is not going to be enough to be able to, end all of these character arcs and narrative points and, be able to hit every single plot point the way it's supposed to. But hear me out. This crazy ass funeral had already got me a little bit hooked into the episode now. So I'm going straight into it. Just skip, through the recap and everything. I don't really need it. And we get into Frenchie's funeral. And dude is literally saying the most insane shit possible. I was on the phone with my brother, bro. I can't even imagine what he was thinking. He's never seen the boys in his life. So hearing Frenchie's speech had to have been so crazy for him. But for me, bro, it kind of touched my heart. It was like, damn, like they really that close. They really locked in like that. But at the same time, gang, why are you talking about booty holes, bro? You sound like E40 right now. You eat booty? Uh-huh. You lick coochie? Uh-huh. Like, bro, what are we talking about? So, hear me out. After that, Homelander immediately, like, we just cut straight from the funeral and all that heartwarming stuff making me feel good to Homelander pulling up on Ryan. I had no clue this was happening. I was like, damn, Ryan's on my screen. This dude's alive. Well, I knew he's alive. But I'm like, damn, he's chilling. He's going to be in this episode. I thought shit was sweet. Homelander pulled up looking like, I don't even know, bro. I would say a visitor from the motherfucking, what's that game called, bro? I forget. But he was looking like a visitor at Viltrumite something, bro. He just pulled up looking so crazy. And I didn't expect it, but Ryan seriously talked his shit. Like, he actually had me feeling something. Like, my heart was beating. I was like, damn, he's either finna get his ass kicked or he's really finna, hit Homelander where it matters. Homelander's too far gone, bro. It don't matter who is talking to him or what is said. He could have Shakespeare say some shit to him and it's not gonna hit him the same, bro. Because he is too far gone at this point. Now, let me go back to my notes. The fight between the Deep and Starlight. Now, I'm cutting a little bit forward because we go straight from, Ryan and Homelander talking to him cutting over to the, what's it called, White House and everything, or Oval Office, whatever the hell it is, sitting there. And Homelander does some crazy stuff. I ain't gonna lie to you. He meets up with the little preacher dude and with the Deep, O Father, whatever. He meets up with O Father in the Deep, and they're over there discussing everything. The Deep shouldn't even have been there. He just kind of walked in trying to get, a little bit of Daddy's attention, if you know what I mean. Now, pause on what I just said, but really, that's kind of how the Deep is, so I can't really say pause, but pause on my part. Now, whenever I try to, tell y'all that the Deep was tripping throughout this whole thing, I mean that with every sense of the word. Now, oh father, he was kind of doing his thing. He just got done talking to Ashley and everything. Everything was going good there in their little, Schmeck's life and everything like that. They got a new gag ball and everything. Surprisingly, that's going to be important later. Don't ask me why, but that's going to be important later. So basically, they end up getting that and everything like that. So Starlight and the boys end up walking in after busting into the Oval Office and everything like that, the White House, whatever the hell you want to call it. They bust into that place. They out there scouring everything, and they see Oh Father, and I forget exactly who it was. I think that it was MM and Huey. That yeah, MM and Huey. They ended up staying and fighting Oh Father, and Starlight said that she would take on the Deep by herself. Now, hear me out. There was a YouTuber I had already seen that had already came up with a similar idea. He thought, and down to a T, he had this shit. I just seen it earlier today, or earlier yesterday, whatever. But he ended up pointing out the fact that the Deep is gonna end up fighting Starlight. Not only that, but Starlight in his fight is not gonna be the end of it. He's gonna end up, dying to the sea life and everything like that. His own powers turning on him because he just gets too wrapped up in his own shit. And I can't lie, the scene like before him and Starlight even fought, it was perfect. The way that the Deep was acting and everything like that, it's the exact way I imagined somebody like him acting in that situation. Perfect, bro. Like absolute cinema. I don't mean to glaze it too much, but the peak. But anyways, he ends up doing his little performance, and it ends up with him getting shish kebabbed or skewered, whatever you want to say the word is, by a octopus or whatever the hell. The Kraken ended up sticking its tentacle up through his mouth. Don't want to talk about how it got to his mouth, but it made it there. So it was a joint effort between Starlight and his own powers that ended up, meeting his demise. Oh, Father. He ended up meeting his demise in quite the way. And by that, I mean, he was about to start screaming, right? Because his power. He screams, he, releases those sonic waves. MM happened to look at a windowsill or something, a desk or something, and he's like, "You see this gag ball? That's weird, bro." Like, I could tell what he was thinking. Damn, that's weird as fuck. But what if I can use this? How do you even get to this train of thought, bro? He's seen that shit. He grabs it, pulls it over bro's mouth. He tries to scream, and the thing blows his brains out, bro. And there's build up to that, Ashley and him discussing how strong the gag ball is earlier. I just really didn't want to talk about that scene, but it is important, so we're gonna talk about it here. He ends up using that little titanium, whatever the hell type of gag ball, and it blows his brains out all the way, like splat everywhere. So just like Butcher done did Huey in a couple episodes ago, he just got done like that again. Blood all over bro's face. MM covered in blood because he's the one who did it. But WMM, bro, quick thinking, and he kind of saved their life there. Now, we cut straight from that fight and them winning that to Butcher breaking through the door to the actual Oval Office this time. Not my drunk brain thinking that the White House and the Oval Office are the same thing. But he broke into the Oval Office this time with Homelander sitting there on live TV. Him and Kimiko go in there, but first it's just him. And he's just talking his shit, doing his little thing. He go up and he start piecing Homelander up a little bit. Kimiko popped through the door. He don't know nothing that Kimiko got going on. I'm so sorry I did not talk about how she got her powers earlier, but I'm sure that y'all seen that if you even skim the episode. So I don't feel like I have to discuss that. So I'm just going to discuss the important parts to me. So anyways, she ends up coming up and she's, charging up her chest and everything like that. And everything's going, bad for her. She's watching Ryan and... Sorry to mention, I'm going really fast. Ryan and Butcher both are fighting Homelander. Like, they both just broke into the Oval Office. Somehow Ryan had a cue to go there. I didn't even know he had a reason to go there besides seeing, like, the, live recording and everything and deciding, hey, I'm just going to break in there. But Anyways, he ends up breaking in there about the same time that Butcher and Kimiko arrive. So all three of them are basically just jumping this dude. And when I tell you it's straight fucking hands, bro, I enjoyed every moment of that fight scene. And I remember how the, what's it called, writer of the whole entire series and everything like that, the publisher, whatever you want to call it, he ended up basically, putting out spoilers that so and so was gonna happen, but it just didn't go exactly how, you know, he put it. I feel like he may have done that on purpose in a way. Maybe giving him a little bit too much credit there. But, anyways, so they ended up breaking in. They end up jumping him. And, after Kimiko's sitting there struggling, right? She's watching Homelander get his ass beat, kind of. He's fighting back against Ryan and Butcher. He was gonna end up killing them eventually if Kimiko didn't step in, which she did very fast. Now, even though I really did enjoy the cinematography and, the fight overall and the hype of it, it felt kind of anticlimactic in a way. Because Kimiko just kind of busts in there and she just has this little vision after, her little internal power struggle. She has a little vision of Frenchie coming up and just, loving on her and everything. He touches her chest and it makes it, it makes a eruption start happening. Pause. But it makes her erupt. And she ends up blowing up all over, Homelander, Ryan, and Butcher all at the same time. Which I kind of figured was going to happen. I figured if Kimiko was going to use that, it wasn't going to be in a one-on-one fight against Homelander. I figured that this was my thinking. It wasn't that Ryan and Butcher were going to hold him. It was more that Butcher was going to hold on to him with the tentacles and let Kimiko hit both of them. And then Ryan keep his powers. But I guess they had to get rid of Ryan's powers for the sake of the story. So I understand in a way. But anyways, they end up going from doing that to just an immediate jump to Homelander not having any powers. Him depowered was so fucking awesome, by the way, because I've been wanting to see this. Depowered Homelander, first of all, and then versus Butcher. Let the writers cook. And I wasn't letting the writers cook before, so hear me out. But anyways, Homelander ends up waking up completely powerless. Butcher, he slowly gets up and everything. He's still disoriented from the blast. But he gets up and he immediately starts talking his shit because he sees that Homelander gets up and he goes, bro is not, I'm sorry, I just knocked my headphones off. Bro is not finna use no heat vision, bro. You do not have powers no more, gang. He tried jumping up in the air and flying. How do I tell you, gang? How do I tell you, gang? Done for, bro. He was not going nowhere. And to even get beyond all that, he ends up trying to rush Butcher in a desperate attempt. Now, this slowly de-escalates because, or not slowly, very quickly de-escalates because Homelander is just a straight up bitch without his powers, bro. He, basically just sat there, like, getting his ass beat by Butcher while Homelander sat there and begged him. Hear me out. He begged him for his life in the most heinous way possible. On live TV, he said, and I quote, I'll eat your shit. I'll even suck your dick. Children, plug your ears late because I've already let the cat out the bag. The chocolate starfish has already been opened wide. The peanut butter has already been smeared in jelly. I didn't expect Homelander to get so fruity all of a sudden. Now, it's not really stepping away from his character. He did try to have the deep suck Noir off. I'm talking so crazy. I'm so sorry for anybody, but I'm just this kind of person. I'm vulgar. But anyways, always been this way. Uh anyways, Homelander said all of that shit. He's sitting there begging and everything. He on the ground getting his ass beat by Butcher. Butcher get that crowbar out that I've been waiting to see since the comics, bro. He said, this is... Oh, hold on. He was beating his ass and he said, this one's for Frenchie. He got one in for Frenchie, bro. Boom! Had that nigga on the ground, bro. He went and got that crowbar, stuck that shit through his skull, and popped that shit out. Had Ryan waking up seeing his dad with his brains blown out. Pause. But I mean it, bro. Brains completely smeared all over the place. And obviously Ryan's gonna be fucked up about that. But anyways, Butcher, he did all of that while saying, this one here's for my Becca. Got his ass. And that's what I was waiting for, because the comics, he literally said that and then did it. But, you know. Anyways. So, after all that happened, the boys break through the window and or not window, but the hole that Butcher had made prior to losing his powers. And they all go up in there. MM gives him a little chill guy smile. He's like, we did it. But we didn't really do it, bro. Y'all, I thought shit was sweet, bro. I was like, damn, we got the happy ending. We got the good ending. How do I tell you, gang? Maybe as much as it breaks my heart to tell you. Butcher walks up, kicks the camera. The boys are surviving. Everything's looking great, bro. Everything is looking amazing. Like, everyone's winning, bro. We're all sitting here drinking. We're smoking the cigars that MM had stole from, what's his name? Stan Edgar. He stole his shit from Gustavo Fring. When it took his shit, now he's smoking on his pack. Kimiko's smoking on his pack. All types of stuff. Everybody's smoking the Homelander pack and the Vought pack. How do I tell you, gang? It's not over, bro. So, Kimiko's trying to move on and everything like that. After having her vision about Frenchie, she's sitting on the porch and everything like that of the little place that they're staying at all together. Everybody that was in that fight, they're all staying there together and you know, chilling and having a little movie night, drinking and doing their little shit, celebrating. But anyways, Kimiko starts talking again as she became nonverbal after Frenchie's death again. And she's just now starting to recuperate, which is kind of surprising. It didn't really take more than like a day, now that I think about it. Pretty sure it was only a day's worth of time. But that's in story. Anyways, so after that happens, I think everything's sweet. You know, everybody's chilling. Butcher goes into his room. And this is after he sits there and talks to Ryan. He tries to level with him and everything, even after blowing his dad's brains out. And Ryan basically says, fuck you. You killed my dad. Why the fuck would I associate with you? I can't lie. I appreciate what you did. My dad's better off dead. But fuck you, nigga. I'm out of here. I'm living my own life now. Butcher was alright with that. And I was like, damn, you know, he's really just gonna take that in stride. It's still a good ending. Nah, bro. Butcher walks into his room and he says, well, boy, guess it's just me and you then, Tara. How do I tell you, gang? Take me to the king. My brother's dead as hell laying on the floor, bro. So Butcher, surprisingly out of fucking nowhere, sees his dead ass dog, and I would have understood this if a soup had killed the dog, right? But this is the straw that broke the camel's back. He seen Terror dead and decided, you know what? I want to die now, and I want to try to release this virus amongst the world. And I want Huey to kill me. just because this nigga feel like he don't deserve a happy ending, bro. Like that's actually what kills me out of all of this. And before anybody says anything, I'm mixed. But anyways, so the shit that was happening there absolutely makes no sense to me, bro. Like, how do you go from absolutely maybe 25% at best all the way to 100? He's just ready to go release this whole ass virus now just because he's seen the dog die. And I literally mean it like that. He looked at the dog, you seen the switch in his eye, and then he picked up the vial and was ready to go. It was that fast. There was no thought process or anything behind it. He didn't even think a superhero may have done it. He just said, fuck it. Everybody's dead. Scorched earth. But I guess that's the point of the episode. So, to keep it a little bit comic accurate, Huey and him end up breaking out after Huey walks out and everything. You know, he. Let me rewind a little bit. So, after he sees Terror dead, Butcher goes and walks. You know, he picks up the canister and everything. He looks at it, gets the virus out. He goes and walks into the living room, and he sees everybody sitting there together, still celebrating. Huey is the one that looks a little bit more detached and more aware of the situation around him. He looks behind him and sees Butcher standing in the doorway ominously as Stan Edgar's talking on the TV about taking over again. And I think that may have been when he fully decided that he was going to go through with his plan. But Butcher had went to Vought. Huey had walked into Butcher's room. He's seen Terror dead. He's seen the canister on the shelf after paying his respects to Terror. And he kind of pieced everything together that Butcher had went off the deep end. So they had went over to, or not they, Huey, all by himself, 10 toes standing on business like the true man he is. Huey walks up into Vought Tower. Dolo, by the way. Vought Tower. Dolo. And he goes up in there. I mean, yeah, it's still after, you know, Seven's dismantled, but still. Anyways, he walks up in there. He sees Butcher sitting there standing at the desk that Homelander and the Seven have always been at. He's in the Seven's room, basically, their meeting room. And he's holding a weapon. Basically a weapon that Frenchie had came up with the idea for. I don't know how he set all this up, by the way, but he sprinkled all of the virus into the sprinkler system to where after it would go off in the building, after he sets off the trigger, it would basically spread around the whole world within like a day at least. I'm being very tame with that because I'm pretty sure he said it very hyperbolically. But anyways, Frenchie had came up with that version of the virus. I don't know why Frenchie would. I guess it's because Kimiko was ready to die at a point, and so was Starlight, but now they're not ready to die, so it didn't really make sense for it to happen, so it can't happen. But anyways, Huey goes in there and he tries to stop him, and he tries to stop him in the best way possible. I mean, he tries talking him down first. He's sitting there joking with him, like casually acting like, you know, we're just buddy and everything like that. It's the same as it's always been. And I understand, like, from Huey's perspective, I dead ass felt that character, bro. Like, I could imagine if I were in The Boys, I would be more like a Huey, bro. Like, I know people like saying that they would be this character and that character. Yeah, I might look a little bit like a long-haired soldier boy, but I'm more like a Huey at heart, bro. Like, I would be the one trying to do what he does or what Mother's Milk does. Anyways, that aside, Huey was the one trying to be able to keep Butcher grounded as he always has, but just like Homelander, Butcher was already too far gone. He's lost everything important to him. He accomplished the one mission he was out to complete. There was nothing else for him. He had no happy life after that, I guess. I mean, everybody deserves a happy life, you know, after some tragic shit happens. But I guess he did some awful shit too. He wasn't a good person, just like Ryan said. So I guess he did kind of, in his own way, deserve what happened to him. But I do really appreciate what the writers did, allowing Huey to try to talk him down and everything, but realizing that it was too late. Um, Butcher had already came to terms with the fact that he was gonna die there. He had basically used the virus as a means to have Huey kill him, kind of like a red herring. He just wanted Huey to see that red flag and go straight for it like a bull, and that's what he did. And it's sad how it happened. And to be honest, he actually wouldn't have died. Like, it's not like he just died to a bullet wound and that's just that, or that's, all it took. He wanted to die there. Like, that's what not only the writers had planned, but that's what his character was already leading up to. So it made sense for him to die the way that he did, especially to Huey, and the way that he died to Huey actually made sense. I loved the way that they did that. Like, to be honest with you, I had no hope for this shit. No hope at all. I either thought everybody's dead, nobody's dead. It's just gonna be shit, bro. Like, there's no way you can tie everything up in this little of time. But they really did seem to do that. And they were able to tie a lot in from the comics, too. Like, Huey killing Butcher just spoiled that. Sorry. Major spoiler warning. I'm gonna have to put, like, a big one on the, title of this video or something like that to make sure that everybody knows that this is all about the finale and I'm gonna let everything out the bag. But, or at least most of it. But anyways, Soldier Boy was not seen at all this episode. Hurt my feelings personally. Favorite character, and not only that, he had a very unfinished character arc. He's just frozen in Vought Tower or the White House, wherever the fuck he is. He's just frozen. Who's gonna find him? Who's gonna go in Homelander's room? Anyways, I really did enjoy what they did with that. I enjoyed the fact that even though Huey tried to talk him down, he ultimately had to kill Butcher, and Butcher ultimately had told Huey that he didn't want him to call the ambulance. He said, do not call him EMTs. He doesn't want help. He said he left Huey no choice, and he was never going to stop. And to be honest, I don't think he would have. I think that it was correct for him to die, and it was correct for him to die the way that he did. A lot of people are definitely going to have their takes about this, and they may, completely juxtapose mine, but being completely honest, I enjoyed it. Like, I'm drawing, not really that high because my card's almost out, but, I definitely have more reason to enjoy it, but at the same time, I feel like even sober minded, I definitely would have enjoyed the way that this turned out. Anyways, that's it for the season finale. I can't imagine what they're gonna be doing with Gen V or Vought Rising. I'm looking forward to Vought Rising. I don't know so much about Gen V. I haven't really gave it a chance yet. I'm looking to, at least to hold me off until Vought Rising starts coming out. But really like The Boys as a whole. I think that the show did a lot better of a job than the comic book series. They definitely could have done a lot better, especially where, pacing and narrative arcs and payoffs go, and character regression, happening a lot. I feel like a lot of it could have been avoided, but at the same time, the fact that it happened does not make the show any less phenomenal. It didn't make the finale any less phenomenal, and I look forward to seeing what else they have in store for the story, whether they do sequels, prequels, whatever the hell they end up doing. Also, did get to see the fact that after everything happened, Kimiko ends up going to France and everything like that. She's enjoying her food and everything like that. Imagine Frenchie being there with her, which Frenchie isn't even French, but it is what it is there. It still reminds her of him though. It's sweet, but anyways, Ryan basically, I think, living with MM now, which is something I kind of expected to happen, but I like seeing that for Ryan. Don't know how that's gonna work though. Like, he's gonna go from basically having the most potential out of any suit possible to nothing at all. He has no powers, like, even for Gen V now. Like, there's no future in superheroism for Ryan, which I think may be good for his character, but it's also odd at the same time, because a lot of people had a lot of high hopes for him, potential wise. But, anyways, he ends up staying with MM. MM gets married and everything like that. He gets his little happy ending. Huey, he gets to open his own little electronics store, which is a kind of cool full circle moment for him. Starlight's pregnant. They're fighting off crime and everything in their own little way, kind of like Invincible Inc. You know how they do it apart from the government. It's kind of like the same way. I think that's what they do. I don't think they necessarily fight crime directly, but they do, little stuff to help in whatever way that they can, especially while Starlight's pregnant. I'm sure she'll go back to the crime fighting and world changing life after she has her child, but I feel like until then she's going to be taking a little bit more easy. Huey, he had turned down the president's offer to be lead of the CIA or bureau, whatever the hell he was going to be a part of or head of. He turned down that because he just wants a normal life at the end of the day. Like, that's where this all started. This whole series started with everybody wanting a normal life. And full circle moment, everybody has a normal life now, including Sister Sage. Left that part out. She ends up getting her mind turned to normal by having Kimiko blast her. She basically rage baits her into seeing if her powers work. And I guess it was a way to do it. It wasn't the best way to do it, I guess, but you know, who's me to say that? Sister Sage is or was the smart one. So, anyways, I appreciate y'all tapping in. I really hope that y'all. Uh, I don't really say that I hope they all agree with my takes, but I hope they all enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, anything that you can do to, show that you're here. And make sure to leave any thoughts on my takes or any thoughts that you have on the finale yourself. Anything that you maybe would have wanted to see instead of what happened, like alternatives. Just let me know anything. I'm definitely curious to see what y'all are thinking about this shit. And I'm very drunk. I'm ready to go to bed. Love all of y'all. That's Sensei Joe.